Hey friends! In this video, you'll learn how to break things down into basic shapes. One of my biggest mistakes when I started was jumping into a drawing without thinking about the foundation. I would get too caught up in the details way too early. And because of that, my drawings used to look a bit off. You need to have a strong foundation in mind, because drawing is a bit like building. You can't really put in the bricks if you don't have the structure. Once I really started looking at my references, finding the shapes inside of them, and building a solid foundation during my sketching process, I started to see the results I wanted. But how do you build this foundation? The first step would be to start looking at the world as an artist, trying to find the basic shapes around you. And ask yourself, how would I draw that using only basic shapes? Drawing the shapes you see in your reference will help you draw more accurately. Before I started drawing this way, I would often have a reference right in front of me, and by the time I was done with my drawing, it looked nothing like my reference. You see, your brain tends to trick you into drawing the idea you have of the reference, instead of what is actually in front of you. What do I mean by this? Let's say you want to draw this apple. Instead of spending time analyzing your reference, you might just start drawing the idea you have in your brain of what an apple looks like. It's important that you break free from that and take a moment to look at your reference in its entirety. What shapes do you see? Here, you can start by drawing a big circle. This will be the space that our drawing will take. If you look at your reference a little bit more, you'll see that it takes an extra pair of smaller circles to make the curves of the apple, as well as some curved lines. But what about a more complex subject? Let's say you want to draw this cardinal bird. Instead of getting caught up in all the small details, spend some time finding the shapes that make up your reference. So you can draw a circle for his head, a small triangle for the beak, and another one for his little rock star hairstyle. A bigger circle for his neck, and an even bigger circle for his body. Also, a long thin rectangle for his tail, and some extra lines. And that's it! You've successfully sketched this little cardinal bird. Let's see another example. This time, let's try to draw a rooster. And instead of just focusing on the feathers, the colors, the details, break it down into the simple shapes and lines you see. You can draw an oval for his neck, a small circle for his head, a tiny triangle for his beak, and so on and so on. Just think about finding the basic shapes. Once you have the biggest shapes in place, you can start to break down the smaller details into shapes as well. Take your time to break down the whole subject into the simplest shapes you see. And once you have the structure in place, you can start to bring in more and more detail. If you're not sure about where to start, a good tip is to start with the biggest shape you see, draw it, and move on to the next biggest shape you see. So in this case, the biggest shape would be the sphere that's at the bottom of the jar. Then the cylinder that is on top, and you continue finding the biggest shape and drawing them first. So you keep thinking, what is the next biggest shape, and where does it go? And you can continue drawing and rearranging the pieces of your puzzle until it looks good to you. You might notice that only doing this might not be enough for you to draw your reference perfectly. Remember that this is only the first tool you'll learn during this level. So don't worry if your drawings are not looking exactly like your reference right away. The tools you'll learn during this level are accumulative. And the more you learn, the more accurately you'll be able to draw. Here's where that patience we talked about in the previous video comes on. Don't feel discouraged if you're not able to draw things perfectly right away. Take your time to build a foundation and don't be afraid to get messy. Draw shapes on top of shapes, erase them, rearrange them, and even start over if you have to. Your sketch is supposed to look messy, because drawing is a process of iterations. So don't get sad if you make any mistakes, even if this means that you have to start all over again. It will all come with practice, patience, and dedication. Knowing how to break things down into the most basic shapes will help you, even if you want to develop a style that is not realistic, because you'll be able to understand the reference and translate it into basic shapes. You know those days when you want to draw something in particular, but it just seems too complicated and you just get overwhelmed? Well, next time, try to find the biggest shape you see. Calm your mind and focus only on the shapes. Once you draw the biggest shape, find the next biggest shape and draw it. And by doing this, you'll have your sketch done before you know it. Now that we've talked about how to break things down into basic shapes, it's your turn. To start this assignment, go to the worksheets of this video. You'll find a group of reference images on the left. Your assignment is to break the reference down into basic shapes on top of each picture. And then, draw the same reference all by yourself on the blank space next to it. You're not looking for finished drawings during this part, just quick, loose sketches. Right now, you want to focus on breaking things down into basic shapes. Once you're done with this, I want you to pick your own reference image. Choose something that makes you feel happy or excited, and break it down into basic shapes and forms. No details, just shapes. But make sure to pick something that you really feel like drawing, because this will become your class drawing. You'll get to revisit your class drawing during each lesson and see it get better and better as you advance in this course. I recommend using the same reference you used for the drawing you did at the start of the course. This way, you can really see your improvement from before you took the class to after. Make sure to save the sketches you do for this assignment, because in the next videos, you'll learn other tools that will allow you to refine your sketch more and more. I recommend you spend some time practicing each skill and make a bunch of sketches. And as I said before, each video in this part of the course will give you a new tool that will help you draw better and better. Don't forget to share what you do for this assignment with the rest of the class in the Design Cuts Community Hub or in social media. Let's grow our art skills together. And once you're done practicing, we'll see each other in the next video. See you!